What's up everybody, Tech Chucker here, and today we're going to do a review of the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Wave Iceman. And I gotta say, this figure, it's it's okay. It's okay, it's not great. It's definitely better than the clear vision that we got from the Target 3-pack. But there's some issues, so let's take this thing out of the package and take a closer look. Alrighty folks, let's take a look at the articulation. First on this figure, and I almost fell over. But the articulation, his head is on a standard ball peg with a hinge. You can see his head kind of pops off pretty easily here because that plastic is fairly soft. But he's able to get his chin down pretty well into his chest, which is great. Side to side, absolutely no issues there. And there is actually a fair amount of tilt within that head as well. So that looks really great. In his shoulders, he's got a ball hinge, which works pretty well. He's able to get his arm pretty much straight out. And then he has a butterfly joint in his shoulder as well, which works pretty well. See if I can get this working right here. And then he's got full rotation of that shoulder as well. So I'm actually pretty happy with the articulation here. You can see as I try to get him to clap his hands, he can clap his hands pretty well. He can move his arms all the way back with that butterfly joint to the point that it is uncomfortably disgusting looking. Yeah, no, I would hope no one's going to be bending their arm like that. But he's got an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, almost said knees. Double jointed elbows, if I can get this top hinge portion to bend, there we go. You can get it pretty much all the way in half. He's got a peg and a hinge in his wrist, and those work really, really well. Moving into the torso, he's got the standard hinge joint. He can move forward that much and back a fair amount. There is a waist swivel, no issues there. Moving down into the hips, he's got T-jointed hip joints, which work very, very well. Much better than the Pizza Spidey, and I'm going to continue ragging on that forever. Alrighty, moving into the forward kick, he can kick above his hips, which is awesome. And he's got an okay backwards kick, even though it makes that hip piece kind of stick out. Looks a little funny. The upper thigh cuts are frozen, but they should work. And then the knees, he's got double jointed knees, which work fairly well. Moving this, there we go. Now we've got him all the way in half. And then the ankles are really, really soft, but he can move his foot back all the way, forward a good amount, and then there is also an ankle rocker, which works really well. So overall, I'm really happy with the articulation. There are some issues with the actual plastic, which makes him a little softer. Sometimes those ankles do not hold their position very well, so it's hard to get him into a position where he will stay in that position. So be wary of that and just know that some of those joints do not hold real well because that plastic is so soft. Alrighty, let's take a look at the sculpt and the paintwork on this figure. I'm pretty happy with the sculpt and paint, and let's take a look at the head sculpt. Obviously it's a little difficult because of this clear plastic. I think they got the face likeness good enough. Let's see if I can shine a little more light on this. There's very little paint, which is kind of expected. I do wish that they would have had a little more maybe white and blue dry brushed into this thing. There's some nice detail work that they did on the arms and hands and whatnot. I like the hands. You know, they've got some of the kind of sharp, pokey, whatever the heck they are, supposed to be kind of like ice, yada yada yada. I like that he doesn't have shoes on. You know, I think they did good. I think they did pretty good with the choice of plastic. I noted before that the plastic, especially in the feet and the ankles, is really soft, especially around the actual joints. It is fairly soft, so it doesn't hold its position. You can see I'm having a hard time getting this thing to stand or stay standing because it just won't hold that position. But overall, you know, it's not the best and certainly not the worst figure that I've seen. It'll pass for right now. Um, you know, I got it. It's not overwhelming. That's for sure. All right, so here's what kind of chaps my something. We get this figure, and it's relatively nice, uh, but there's pretty much no accessories. I mean, we get this weird little ice patch thing. I don't even know what to call it. It's nice enough. It's a soft plastic to kind of give it that icicle look. You know, it does its job, but I don't even know that I would consider this an accessory, more so as a just part of the costume. But we get no accessories otherwise. We don't get any additional alternate hands, no alternate head. We don't even get like a diorama piece. That would have been cool, or any ice bursts. That would have been awesome if we got some ice bursts out of the same basic plastic. That alone would have made this figure so much better. You can see I'm playing with some of the light to just kind of show you what that translucent plastic does. And I think that translucent plastic really does a good job for this figure. You can see my phone kind of bouncing around in here. I'm trying not to hit anything, but overall the accessories were terrible. So that's kind of why I'm glad that I didn't pay all that much for this figure. And you really shouldn't. You don't want to pay all that much for this figure either. So um, it's a must-have because you got to get it for the Build-A-Figure for Juggernaut. But you know, I'm kind of on the fence whether or not this is really a must-have for the for the collection. Alrighty, folks, I hope this was helpful. I hope you can hit the like button on this video. Go ahead and hit subscribe. There is definitely going to be a lot more content to come on my channel. I thank all of you. You know, this is 2017 now. I thank you all for following, supporting, contributing with your comments and whatnot. And until next time, I'll see you later.
Tetris Brain Blast.